What if your sensitivity isn't a weakness, but your greatest form of strength? Maybe you are someone whose heart is so pure, sensitive, and attuned to the nuances of human emotion that you instinctively absorb the feelings, subtle energies, fleeting expressions, and unspoken gestures of those around you. Not only noticing details that most people overlook, but feeling them profoundly within your own being, as if you are carrying an invisible mirror that reflects every small wave of emotion, thought, and intention you encounter in your daily interactions. And perhaps this extraordinary sensitivity allows you to connect with others in ways that are rare, intimate, and transformative, creating bonds of understanding and compassion that resonate deeply. Yet this same gift, while a source of profound empathy and meaningful connection, can also make you vulnerable to the emotional turbulence, misunderstandings, and unpredictability of the world, compelling you to navigate a delicate and constant balance between honoring your own needs and nurturing the needs of those you care for, learning to say no when necessary, to protect your energy, to maintain healthy boundaries without guilt, and to give with intention rather than exhaustion. Understanding that the depth of your emotional experience is both a strength and a responsibility, that your capacity for empathy can illuminate the lives of others while also requiring vigilance to prevent your own emotional depletion, and that even when your selfless actions, your gestures of kindness, your acts of support, or your unwavering commitment to caring for others go unnoticed, misunderstood, or underappreciated, the quiet yet persistent impact of your presence continues to ripple through the lives of those fortunate enough to feel it, shaping moments, decisions, and emotional landscapes in ways you may never fully realize, reminding you that your purpose is not always validated by recognition, but by the lasting echoes of empathy and care. And as you move through life with grace, intentionality, and an awareness of the profound consequences of your actions, you cultivate resilience, self-respect, and a deep understanding that being kind, sensitive, and attuned to the needs of others is not a weakness, but a testament to your inner strength, emotional intelligence, and capacity to live authentically, love deeply, and influence the world in ways that are subtle, enduring, and ultimately transformative, all while learning the art of giving without being diminished, of protecting your heart without closing it, of offering care without sacrificing your well-being, and of navigating human connections with both the wisdom of experience and the courage to remain vulnerable, open, and unwavering in your commitment to empathy, compassion, and meaningful human connection. You may wake up each day with an unshakable desire to bring comfort, joy, and reassurance to those around you, feeling a persistent inner call to act with compassion, understanding, and patience. And while this drive propels you toward countless acts of kindness, it can also weigh heavily on your spirit when the effort you invest seems unacknowledged, misunderstood, or insufficient in the eyes of others, compelling you to reflect on the delicate equilibrium between your own emotional needs and the expectations, vulnerabilities, and unspoken hopes of those you wish to serve. Understanding that your heart's capacity for care is vast and profound, yet finite, requiring discernment, self-awareness, and deliberate choice to ensure that your generosity does not come at the expense of your well-being, that your empathy enhances rather than diminishes your life, and that your interactions, whether through a comforting word, a supportive gesture, or simply the silent presence of understanding, are infused with authenticity, intention, and a conscious respect for the boundaries of both yourself and others. And while you navigate the intricate web of human connection, balancing the impulse to give endlessly with the necessity of self-preservation, you cultivate an awareness of your own value, the importance of measured action, and the realization that meaningful influence is often subtle, cumulative, and quiet, manifesting in the emotional resonance left in the hearts of those you touch, rather than in immediate acknowledgement or visible reward, teaching you that the art of compassionate living lies not in overextension, performative acts, or the pursuit of approval, but in the thoughtful, consistent, and intentional practice of caring in a way that sustains both your spirit and the well-being of those you seek to uplift. And through this mindful approach, you learn that your sensitivity is a strength. Your generosity is a powerful tool for positive change, and your presence, even when unnoticed, contributes to a world that is incrementally better, more connected, and more attuned to the subtle but profound influence of a heart that chooses to care deeply, consistently, and with conscious awareness of both the gift and responsibility inherent in such emotional engagement. Even in moments when your efforts go unrecognized, when your gestures of care are met with indifference, or when the depth of your empathy seems invisible to those around you, it is essential to remember that your actions carry an intrinsic value that transcends immediate acknowledgement or outward validation, and that the quiet, persistent influence of a genuinely compassionate heart often manifests in subtle, unseen ways, shaping moods, guiding decisions, and inspiring reflection in others without fanfare or expectation of reward, reminding you that the essence of kindness is not measured by recognition, but by the intentionality, sincerity, and consistency with which it is offered, and that by continuing to act from a place of deep understanding and genuine concern, you cultivate resilience, strengthen your emotional intelligence, and model the profound impact that thoughtful, deliberate, and heartfelt action can have in a world that is often hurried, distracted, or self-absorbed, demonstrating through your very presence that empathy is both a gift to others and a practice that enriches your own life, teaching you that sustaining a balance between giving and self-preservation, between openness and protection, and between vulnerability and strength, is not a compromise, but an essential aspect of living with integrity, awareness, and conscious intention, and that by embracing the responsibility inherent in your capacity to feel deeply, to care profoundly, and to act with thoughtful attention, you not only honor yourself, but also provide a stabilizing, nurturing, and meaningful influence in the lives of those whose paths intersect with yours, leaving an enduring, quiet legacy of care, understanding, and compassion that echoes far beyond the immediate interactions and moments that first gave rise to it. Navigating the complexities of human connection, as someone whose heart feels deeply and whose empathy drives action, requires a continuous, conscious effort to maintain balance between your own well-being and the needs of others, recognizing that the energy you invest in relationships, gestures of care, and supportive acts is a finite resource, and that honoring your limits is not selfish but necessary to sustain the quality, sincerity, and depth of your contributions, and that in learning to establish boundaries without guilt, to say no when necessary, and to reserve your attention, time, and emotional presence for those causes that genuinely matter. You cultivate a life in which your kindness is sustainable, your compassion remains meaningful, and your influence, though sometimes unseen, leaves a lasting imprint on the emotional fabric of the people around you, allowing you to act with integrity, patience, and intentionality. Understanding that the true measure of your generosity is not in immediate recognition, praise, or reciprocation, but in the quiet, cumulative, and transformative effect that your thoughtful, considered, and heartfelt actions have on the hearts, minds, and lives of those you touch, and that by embracing this perspective, you develop the resilience, awareness, and emotional sophistication required to navigate the inevitable challenges, misperceptions, and occasional disappointments of a world that does not always recognize, understand, or reward the profound, enduring value of a genuinely caring and sensitive presence. And in doing so, you learn to move through life with a sense of purpose, a deepened understanding of human connection, and a quiet confidence that your contributions, while subtle, are powerful, meaningful, and capable of creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond the immediate moment, enriching the lives of others while simultaneously nurturing and honoring your own heart, mind, and spirit, and demonstrating that true kindness, empathy, and selflessness are acts of strength, intention, and enduring impact in a world that often underestimates the profound significance of emotional awareness, compassion, and deliberate care, and that your life, lived with awareness, intention, and deep feeling, is a testament to the enduring power of human connection. The quiet majesty of empathy and the subtle but extraordinary effect that a heart that chooses to give and care can have on the world. Recognizing that your capacity to give, to feel deeply, and to empathize so profoundly is both a gift and a responsibility allows you to approach life with a sense of purpose, intentionality, and reverence for the intricate web of human connection. Understanding that the choices you make, the energy you invest, and the care you extend ripple outward in ways that are often imperceptible yet profoundly meaningful, shaping not only the emotional experiences of those around you, but also subtly influencing the broader environment in which you and others operate, and in embracing the delicate balance between openness and protection, vulnerability and strength, generosity and self-preservation. You learn that true resilience is not about hardening the heart or withdrawing from the world, but about cultivating the wisdom, discernment, and emotional fortitude necessary to navigate the complexities of interaction, to honor your own boundaries while remaining compassionate, and to act with integrity in the face of misunderstandings, indifference, or misinterpretation, knowing that the ultimate value of your actions is measured not by immediate recognition, applause, or reciprocation, but by the quiet, lasting impact they leave on the hearts, minds, and lives of those who are fortunate enough to receive them, and that by continuing to act from a place of thoughtful care, genuine empathy, and deliberate kindness, you contribute to a cumulative, transformative effect that extends far beyond what can be seen or measured, enriching the human experience, modeling emotional sophistication, and demonstrating that a life lived with awareness, compassion, and intentionality, even in the face of challenges and occasional disappointment, is one that resonates profoundly, creating a legacy of care, understanding, and love that touches lives in subtle yet enduring ways, affirming that the power to effect meaningful change in the world lies not in grand gestures or overt recognition, but in the consistent, heartfelt, and conscientious choices made by those who dare to care deeply and act with integrity every day, and that by nurturing this awareness, you strengthen your own sense of purpose, deepen your connection to others, and cultivate a life in which kindness, empathy, and thoughtful action are inseparable from your very being, becoming the defining qualities of a life fully lived. As you continue on this path of deep empathy, selfless giving, and heartfelt connection, it becomes increasingly clear that the art of balancing your own well-being with the needs of others is not a simple task, nor is it something that can be perfected quickly or without effort. For the complexities of human emotion, the unpredictability of interpersonal dynamics, and the subtle, often invisible consequences of your actions create a constant challenge that requires ongoing reflection, adaptability, and conscious decision-making. And yet within this intricate dance of emotional engagement, you discover that true mastery lies not in rigidly controlling your environment, in attempting to anticipate and preempt every possible outcome, or in striving to meet every expectation placed upon you, but rather in cultivating a nuanced awareness of your own limits, a steadfast respect for your personal boundaries, and a compassionate understanding of the humanity, vulnerability, and imperfections of those with whom you interact. Recognizing that each encounter offers an opportunity to exercise patience, empathy, and discernment, and that by engaging with the world in this intentional, thoughtful manner, you reinforce your own sense of integrity, strengthen the bonds of trust and mutual respect in your relationships, and create an internal equilibrium that allows you to continue offering your care, support, and presence without feeling depleted or diminished. In this way, you learn that the act of giving is most powerful when it is accompanied by self-awareness, when it is guided by a clear understanding of both your needs and the needs of others, and when it is rooted in a deliberate choice to act with intention rather than compulsion, knowing that the impact of your generosity extends far beyond the immediate moment, seeping into the fabric of the lives you touch, shaping the emotional climates of communities, influencing the choices of others, and leaving a subtle, enduring imprint on the world, all while reinforcing your own resilience, fostering a sense of purpose and fulfillment, and demonstrating the extraordinary capacity of a human heart that dares to care deeply, act with integrity, and navigate the complexities of connection with both courage and wisdom, ultimately showing that a life committed to empathy, thoughtful action, and conscientious giving is not only a gift to those around you, but also a profound, transformative journey that nurtures your own spirit, sharpens your emotional intelligence, and affirms that your presence, no matter how quietly expressed, carries with it the power to inspire, heal, and elevate the human experience in ways that are at once subtle, profound, and enduring. In navigating the journey of living with a deeply empathetic and giving heart, you often encounter the duality of immense fulfillment and occasional emotional strain. For the very traits that allow you to connect profoundly with others, your sensitivity, your perceptiveness, your unwavering commitment to kindness, can at times lead to a heightened awareness of pain, disappointment, and the limitations of those around you, revealing the paradox that the ability to feel and give so fully is both a profound gift and a responsibility that requires careful cultivation. You learn that your energy, attention, and emotional investment are finite resources, and that while your instinct may be to extend yourself endlessly, true wisdom lies in discerning when to give, when to protect, and when to honor your own needs without guilt. Understanding that doing so does not diminish your compassion, but rather sustains it, enabling you to continue acting with intentionality, grace, and a depth of presence that enriches both your life and the lives of those you touch. And you come to recognize that the subtle, often unseen ways in which you offer support, the listening ear, the gentle encouragement, the quiet act of service, the patient understanding, collectively weave a tapestry of influence that extends far beyond what you may ever witness, affecting not only the immediate emotional states of those you care for, but also shaping the patterns of behavior, thought, and emotional resilience that ripple outward, creating a network of positive impact whose effects may only be fully realized long after the moment has passed. And in this recognition, you embrace the notion that living with an open, empathetic heart is a dynamic practice, one that involves constant reflection, adjustment, and self-awareness, requiring you to navigate the complex interplay between your own needs and the needs of others, to establish boundaries that protect without isolating, to give generously without being depleted, and to love deeply without surrendering your sense of self. Ultimately understanding that the essence of a life well lived lies not merely in the magnitude of what you give, but in the intentionality, authenticity, and consistency with which you approach the act of giving. And that by cultivating this mindful, balanced, and resilient approach to life, you not only honor your own emotional well-being, but also create a legacy of care, empathy, and thoughtful engagement that will quietly, persistently, and meaningfully influence the lives of countless individuals, leaving a mark that is as enduring as it is profound, demonstrating that the heart that dares to care, even when misunderstood or undervalued, possesses an extraordinary capacity to shape the world in ways that are subtle, enduring, and deeply transformative. Even as you move through life with a heart that is both open and acutely sensitive, you come to understand that the very qualities which allow you to connect so meaningfully with others, your empathy, your compassion, your unwavering willingness to give, can also expose you to emotional strain, misunderstanding, and moments of isolation. For the world does not always recognize the depth, sincerity, or intentionality of your care. Yet, in spite of these challenges, you persist, guided by a profound internal compass that consistently leads you toward acts of kindness, support, and understanding. Recognizing that the impact of your presence is often subtle, invisible to the casual observer, yet profoundly influential in shaping the emotional, mental, and sometimes even the physical well-being of those you encounter, creating ripples that extend far beyond the immediate moment, touching lives in ways that may never be directly acknowledged. And in this persistence, you cultivate a quiet resilience, a capacity to continue giving without surrendering your sense of self, to remain open and receptive without being depleted, and to navigate the delicate balance between self-preservation and altruism with a wisdom that grows steadily through reflection, experience, and conscious effort, ultimately leading to a life in which generosity, empathy, and intentional living are harmoniously integrated, not as burdens or sources of guilt, but as expressions of a deeply held understanding that your ability to care, to support, and to love is a powerful and transformative force in the world, one that, when wielded mindfully, can help create a life of meaningful connections, lasting impact, and profound fulfillment, demonstrating that the most sensitive and giving hearts are capable not only of enriching the lives of others, but of modeling a way of being that exemplifies the highest aspirations of human kindness, compassion, and emotional wisdom. And through this journey, you come to embrace the understanding that while the world may at times misunderstand or undervalue your contributions, your continued commitment to living authentically, empathetically, and thoughtfully ensures that the legacy of your presence is enduring, subtle, and powerful, quietly shaping a reality in which your empathy, generosity, and care resonate long after your immediate interactions, leaving an imprint on the hearts, minds, and lives of those who are fortunate enough to cross your path. A testament to the profound capacity of the human spirit to give, connect, and transform even in the face of challenge, misunderstanding, or lack of recognition. As you continue on the path of living with a heart that is open, empathetic, and deeply attuned to the emotional currents of the world around you, it becomes increasingly clear that the journey of a sensitive and giving person is not without its unique trials and subtle challenges, as each act of kindness, every moment of understanding, and all efforts to uplift others carry with them the potential for misinterpretation, misunderstanding, or even exploitation, compelling you to develop not only emotional awareness but also discernment, patience, and the ability to recognize when your energy is best reserved, when your empathy must be tempered with boundaries, and when stepping back is not a retreat, but a conscious and deliberate act of self-preservation that enables you to return to giving with renewed strength and clarity, understanding that your capacity for care is finite, that your emotional reserves must be protected, and that true resilience lies not in the endless distribution of your compassion, but in the thoughtful, intentional, and sustainable expression of it, allowing you to navigate relationships, social interactions, and life's challenges with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that the depth of their empathy, the sincerity of their concern, and the authenticity of their actions are themselves powerful forces in the lives of others, even if the acknowledgement or gratitude you receive is delayed, muted, or entirely absent. For the true measure of your generosity is not found in the external validation of your deeds, but in the consistent and conscientious alignment of your actions with your values, principles, and understanding of the profound responsibility inherent in being someone who feels deeply, loves fully, and gives selflessly. And in embracing this understanding, you cultivate a life in which the interplay of giving, receiving, self-care, and awareness is balanced, sustainable, and ultimately transformative, allowing you not only to enrich the lives of those around you, but also to model a way of being that demonstrates the profound capacity of the human spirit to act with integrity, empathy, and intentionality in a world that is often complex, challenging, and unpredictably human in its responses, thereby leaving a subtle, enduring, and meaningful imprint on the world that is greater than any single action, interaction, or acknowledgement could convey. As we come to the close of this reflection, take a deep breath and acknowledge the profound journey you are on, one marked by empathy, sensitivity, and an unwavering commitment to kindness, understanding that every act of care you offer, every moment of genuine connection, and every gesture of compassion contributes to a legacy far greater than what you can immediately see or measure, and that even when misunderstood, overlooked, or taken for granted, your presence continues to ripple quietly through the lives of those around you, shaping, inspiring, and leaving an indelible mark that transcends the fleeting moments of recognition, allowing you to walk forward with quiet confidence, knowing that your heart, your intentions, and your capacity to give deeply are not only valuable, but transformative in a world that so deeply needs the light you bring.